Good evening, everyone. Welcome to meeting number 313 of Turning Point Toastmaster. I am Renu, your Sergeant at Arms for today. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. You are now the inside of you are now inside the code of conduct of the Toastmaster meeting. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and that it may not be possible to pause the recording. The following are the meeting rules. For audience, please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of meeting will result in removal from the meeting room without any warning. Please ensure that your noise making devices were either switched off or on silent mode. Please speak responsibly on controversial topics like sex, religious, politics, etc. As far as possible, please keep your video on, audio off, and applause flowing throughout. Be the kind of audience for others you would like to have for yourself. There are some rules for role players. For role player, please ensure a smart audio video check before handing over to the next speaker. Now, I would like to hand over our today's presiding officer, Madhav. Over to you, Madhav.
Thank you, Renu. Thank you for wonderfully explaining all the roles and responsibilities, roles that we need to abide to while we are on the stage. And I would like to welcome everyone here in yet another meeting of Turning Point Toastmasters. I am your Sergeant at Arms, and it is 313th meeting of Turning Point Toastmasters. And at the start of this meeting, I would like to let you know a good news. And the good news is that it looks like our VP membership is on a spree of adding new members, and we have added yet another new member, though he will be joining Turning Point officially very soon. By today, his registration will be completed, but we are joined by yet another member, Toastmaster Piyush. So we would all like to welcome Toastmaster Piyush in his journey as a Toastmaster, and we hope that he, likewise many of us, he also he has taken the first step of becoming a better public speaker, and his journey goes smoothly, and he improves, and he achieves all the goals that he has planned for himself. After this news, I would like to welcome our guests. We are joined by quite a few guests today. We are joined by Toastmaster Najib. Then we are joined by Madhav Khandelwal, Kalyani, and Mansi and Gunjan Sharma. Welcome all the guests. Do stay till the end of the meeting. We'll be taking your feedback towards the end, and you will also be getting a chance to speak in table topic section. And with that, I would like to go to the theme of today's meeting, that is going to be a bit exciting with the kind of preparation I could see our Toastmaster of the day has done for all of us. And our Toastmaster of the day is Utkarsh Sharma. He has joined Turning Point Toastmasters barely 3 months before, and he has already shown his commitment to the club by not only playing roles but also helping club in doing job from background while this meeting is going on by playing tech master and helping the executive committee. Toastmaster Utkarsh is PhD scholar from JNU. He is from Agra, and he loves writing, he loves reading, and he loves traveling and trekking as well. So with that said, I would like to hand over the stage to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Utkarsh. And before that, I would like to have a quick audio video check as well.
Am I audible? Am I visible?
Yes, you are audible and you are visible. Over to you, Utkarsh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mother, for always being so gracious and generous with your words. Picture this: a rugged landscape, majestic Himalaya standing tall, their peaks reaching for the sky, where the serene beauty of nature unfolds in every direction, and a trail that beckons with the promise of discovery. It was in the midst of such breathtaking surroundings that I embarked on this awe inspiring trek, a path that would lead me to the enchanting Dyurata Lake and ultimately to the summit of Chandrashila. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, I'll recount the unforgettable tale of my first trekking expedition, a remarkable journey to the mesmerizing Dyuratal Chandrashila. This exhilarating adventure carried me to new heights, both literally and metaphorically, and etched an indelible impact on my heart and soul. As I set foot on that trail, a surge of anticipation coursed through my veins, mingling with a hint of nervousness. Little did I know that this journey would unveil not only the breathtaking beauty of nature, but also the strength and resilience within me. The trek lasted for 4 days, and each day brought new adventures and unforgettable encounters. I traversed through every possible kind of landscape, from the glaciers to river streams, meadows, lakes, hills, plateaus, and of course, the mountains. And I also witnessed every possible kind of weather during those 4 days: intense rains, hailstorms, bright sunshine, biting cold, snowfall, and everything in between. I'll take you along all 4 days, one by one, and share and relive all my memories. Without further ado, let's get going with the first day. A day before the trek began, we had a long commute. After traveling from Delhi to Rishikesh and then from Rishikesh to up north 190 kilometers to Sari, which was our base camp, is a small village in Uttarakhand where we had a good night's sleep. So on the very first day, unfortunately, the weather was not on our side. It was a gloomy day and it rained persistently all day long. However, the trek was easy. For the starters, and it was relatively an easy ascent. I, though, was a total mess the first day and had trouble adjusting with the weather, countless trek gears that one has to carry, be it the ponchos, trekking poles, gloves, wet glasses. I mean, anyone who wears glasses would know how difficult it is to wear glasses during the rains. And of course, my overloaded backpack. I almost felt like, can I just go back home? More on that later. For now, here are some glimpses from the first day. I'll just share my screen and show you the first day. I hope everyone's able to see my screen. So can someone give me a nod that they're able to see the pictures?
We can see your screen, but can you please make it full screen?
Is that fine now?
Yeah, it's better now. Thank you.
So this was the base camp where we had the first night's sleep. How beautiful it was. Then this is the photo that we took when we started our trek. These all are my trek mates. See, it rained so much. Rain was such a spoiler. Everyone's had their ponchos on. These are very initial a very initial part of the trek. These are all the friends that I made along the way. And this is the Dyuratal Lake for the first day. The place where we stayed was the Dyuratal Lake. This is the lake which it looked like when it was overcast. Like you can't see any mountains. But if we had a clear weather, this was the view we would have got, unfortunately. So this is all about the first day. Now moving on with the agenda for today, which is telling you briefly how the today's flow of the meeting would work. It comprises of 3 sections. We start with only one prepared speaker who will be evaluated by her speech evaluator. Post that, we'll have a special education session led by distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, where he'll be sharing insights on how the executive committee of a Toastmasters club functions. We then will move towards the fun part of the meeting, which is the impromptu speaking section, or in Toastmasters language, the table topics. Here, guests and members are invited to stage, given a topic, and asked to speak on a topic for a minute or two. Finally, we go through the evaluation section, where everyone, including me, will get evaluated. The evaluation section today is headed by the general evaluator, who today is Toastmaster Priyanka. To tell you a little bit about her, she is an earthquake model developer and VP membership of Turning Point Toastmasters. She likes public speaking and theater. And not to mention, she's one of the nicest persons to talk to. Can we have Toastmaster Priyanka on spotlight, please? Can we have a quick audio video check, Priyanka?
Hello, Toastmaster Utkarsh. Thank you for a nice introduction.
All right, over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. All right. So yes, thank you for introducing me once again. So yeah, I am interested into theater. So recently, last weekend, we did our show, and there at the after each show, we had 4 shows. After each show, our director and with the team will come on the stage and will ask the audience, please share your feedback while leaving the hall. That director is having 35 years of experience in this theater industry. And he was asking for feedback from the audience. Why? Because the perspective which we build, the way we give our speeches, that is our own perspective. The way we do our things, that's our own perspective. The perspective of other people can also matters, is also important. That's what general evaluation in Toastmaster is about. We evaluate each and every person throughout the meeting and share our commendation and recommendations, or merits or demerits, or positive or negatives throughout the meeting. So, and I am not alone. I have a nice, great team with me. So with that, I want to start my first team member, Toastmaster Madhav, who is a timer of the day. Toastmaster Madhav, could you help us in sharing and you share your screen with the cards? Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not? I'm just sharing. Is everyone able to see the screen?
Yes, we are able to see the screen. Yes. So I'll explain what these cards are about for the guest interest mostly. So for every speech, we time the speech. Either it's a stable topic or the speech of the day, whatever it is. So everything has a time limit. For example, the speech, if you hear in the next session, there will be a speech. It will be 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, the speaker will see the green card. At 6 minutes, he or she will see the yellow card. At 7th minute, the person will see the red card. And it will keep on showing until the speaker ends the speech. Similarly, for table topic, it is 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, the person will see the green card. At 1.5 minutes, the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, the red card. And for evaluation, my dear evaluators, it is 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, the green, 2.5, yellow, and at 3rd minute, the red card. Try to wrap up your speech within the limit and don't get scared with the cards. They're just to help you out. All right. So with that, I'll wrap up the timer thing. So the timer Madhav will share his report in my general evaluation section. So could you highlight, could you spotlight Toastmaster Piyush? Toastmaster Piyush, our newest member, and I'm so glad that he's eagerly taking roles in the meetings. Thank you very much, Piyush. Yeah. So Toastmaster Piyush will help us in counting our crutch words like right, like such crutch word or filler words which we often use in our speeches. They are not recommended, but it's not needed, but is not needed so many times like that. He'll help us in such filler words. So let's and encourage each and everyone to use less filler word and make Piyush's life little hard today. Coming to Toastmaster Vipul. I'll tell you, Toastmaster Vipul as a veteran Toastmaster has come back after a long time to join turning with Toastmasters, and I'm so glad he has taken the grammarian role. So what would he do today? He'll help us in noting down all the grammatical mistake we do, and also he'll also note down what all good vocabulary we use throughout our speeches. Plus, he also have the word of the day. And I encourage every person in the room to use this word of the day as many times as possible. Like I'll also try. So I'll request Toastmaster Vipul to share the word of the day with the audience.
Thanks, Priyanka, for the intro. The word of the day is stewardship. As the session is about leadership, the word is stewardship. Stewardship means conducting, supervising or managing something. So the example would be stewardship of natural resources. You can use it in the word of, instead of managing things, you can use the word stewardship.
Stewardship.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Please
you.
share. Thank you, Vipul. Please share this the word of the day with the meaning and, if possible, the pronunciation in the chat, so that every one of us will know more about it. And also, with the most important thing, whoever uses this word of the day, we encourage the speaker with thumbs up. That is how we do in Toastmasters. So with that, I would like to wrap up my general evaluation introduction and hand over the stage to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Utkarsh, with his beautiful stories of the mountains. Thank you.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. I'm sure the tag team under the stewardship of General Evaluator Priyanka will do really well today. All right. Journey of going for a summit and becoming a prolific Toastmaster has quite a few similarities. Both require significant amount of preparation and practice. We will talk about the trek, but for now, it is time to witness the prepared speech for today. Our first and only speaker is Toastmaster Neeraj. She's a data scientist by profession. She's joined Toastmasters a few months back, and lo and behold, she's taking no time to improve and is taking steep climbs when it comes to the summit of perfection. She's the one who's interested in almost every activity, but does not know which ones to pursue. But recently, she got influenced by an Instagram post to pursue an interest, which she is going to share with us today. Before I bring Neeraj on this virtual stage, I would like to call her speech evaluator, Toastmaster Madhav, to read out her speech objectives. Can we have Toastmaster Madhav on the spotlight, please?
Thank you, Toastmaster Utkarsh. Neeraj is attempting project 2 of level 1 of her path, wherein a part of her project was to give a speech, then receive a feedback, and then apply the feedback again. She has already given a speech last week, and this time she is going to attempt the same speech, implementing the feedbacks we received from her evaluator. And that's all. All the best to my target speaker Neeraj, and timing is going to be 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhav. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Toastmaster Neeraj on the virtual stage with a huge round of applause. Can we have a quick audio check, Neeraj?
Am I audible and visible?
You're perfectly audible and visible. Toastmaster Neeraj, Art of Makeup. Art of Makeup, Toastmaster Neeraj. Stage is yours. Best wishes.
I wish I could have a more sharp nose. I wish I can have a bigger eyes and a dreamy one. Oh my God, I have got this pimple. Tomorrow is my presentation. How can I hide this? Have these kind of questions come across your mind as well? Mine also did. Coming from a very small town where there is not much resources and growing up the only source of entertainment wrapped around in a very big cabinet called television. I had been always fascinated by long, stunning, drop-dead gorgeous. Hairs like a golden cascade. Faces that could launch 1,000 ships. Skin as smooth as silk. Eyes you can die for. The most beautiful woman in the 90s era. The Miss World, Aishwarya Rai. But when I was looking at myself, dark circles, pigmented areas, harsh skin, I was wondering, either her ancestors are from Mars or mine were. But as I grew older, all my perceptions were smashing one by one. I got to know she is just normal like all of us. She do have imperfections, but she is using one magical stick, which is transforming everyone in the industry, called makeup. Isn't it amazing? I got to know there is a whole plethora of cosmetic products for every tiny part of the body. Is it surprising? No. Yes, it is. How would I know? My mother is blessed with abundance of natural beauty. The only product she is using right now is gloss, which is of transparent color. But I knew that wasn't enough for me. My desire towards to have a flawless skin made me buy all the products available. Personally, I have never been an artist myself in drawing, sculpturing, or painting. My passion towards makeup started when Instagram was constantly bombarding me with lots of makeover videos. I got to know this concept is not new. It's here for over 1,000 years. From ancient Egyptians to modern makeup artists who are creating breathtaking looks. In my free time, I started practicing different looks on myself, my sister, my mother. But in recent weeks, my passion for the makeup has increased. So I enrolled myself in self-grooming makeup course. As I become more mature in the field of makeup, I got to know makeup is not merely a tool to enhance the feature. Makeup is a form of artistry which allows you to paint a canvas which is uniquely of your own. Makeup is a form of self-expression to empower, elevate, and transform. Human face is the canvas, and with every stroke, artists create a story that is of self-discovery, individuality, and confidence. It defies all the limitations created by gender, age, diversity. It embraces culture. Makeup doesn't mean you have to hide your flaws or conform to societal ideas of beauty. It means to convert those imperfections into art. Makeup, a very important thing to remember. Makeup has to complement with your natural beauty. It doesn't mean you need to hide who you are. As I was meeting more and more people, I got to know that everyone has some makeup routine and different inspirations. Everybody has something very unique about themselves that they like the most. All in all, makeup is not just a collection of pigments and brushes. Makeup is the form of art, self-expression, and a symbol of empowerment. Let's just continue to embrace the power of transformative power of makeup while celebrating the natural beauty, the beauty that you can wear as a confidence. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Utkarsh.
Thank you, Neeraj, for such a riveting speech. Let us take a minute to write feedback for our speaker, Neeraj. Timer, please note the 1 minute. You can write your comments or feedbacks to Neeraj on a personal chat. Thank you. All right, let's move forward. It's day 2, and thank God it was a bright, sunny morning the next day. We got ready, had breakfast, packed the tents, and started on our way. The path was feebly visible, but involved a lot of ups and downs, and most of the top was rocky, where one fall and you are out of the trek. While moving downhill, my feet were having a tough time, I must say. We drank a lot of water at regular intervals. The sun was right above us and the valley opened up. It was too bright a day and sunscreens didn't seem to work much. The trail, though comprised of the forest, which had some of the oldest oak, maple, and rhododendron trees of the Kedarnath century. That's such a tongue twister, by the way. It was a colorful and indeed a wonderful sight. In terms of the length of the trek, this was the most grueling day. And I assure you, we trekked for almost 10 kilometers in a day. 10 kilometers on a plane is also very hectic. Imagine 10 kilometers in a mountainous area. Needless to say, we were all spent when we reached our campsites. Few glimpses from day 2. I'll share my screen. Well, I hope everyone's able to see this. Can somebody give me a nod, please?
Because it's visible, but it's visible.
Perfectly. So this was bright morning of our campsite. The sun was out, and this is the lake view that we got next morning with all the mountains below, behind visible completely. And this is my picture with all the trek poles and everything. I mean, pictures don't do justice of the sheer beauty that we witnessed during the trek. These are all clicked by me. This is a video. It was tough, it was scary, but it was beautiful. Yeah, these are my friends. These are all rhododendron trees, rhododendron leaves that we could see. Those are the trees behind us. That's all. I'll stop sharing. Alrighty. For now, let's head over to the exciting table topic session and let's not get drift apart from the real agenda of the meeting. It's just not about the trek. Today's table topic session is headed by Toastmaster Ankit. Describe Ankit. Well, he's a nature enthusiast with a deep appreciation of the outdoors. His love for trekking and exploring national parks fuels his sense of adventure and allows him to connect with the world around him on a profound level. Well, same pinch, bro. Professionally, Ankit serves as a data scientist at Mondelez, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, where he excels in extracting valuable insights from data. Ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome Toastmaster Ankit as table topic masters today? Can we have him on spotlight, please?
Thank you, Utkarsh. Thanks for such a good introduction.
Over to you.
Yeah. So, dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, this is the most exciting session that we are going to have in this evening. And in this section, we are going to practice impromptu speeches. And everyone, including guests, can participate in this section by raising their hand through the reactions window, or I would basically pick randomly anyone from you for a topic. So, can we have some volunteers? Okay, so let me start with maybe we can start with some experienced Toastmaster. Uh, Priyanka, can you have the first table topic? Priyanka, you are on mute if you are speaking.
Sorry. Yes, definitely. I would love to.
Sure, Priyanka. So, topic for you is how do you incorporate mindfulness in your daily routine? How do you incorporate mindfulness in your daily routine? Over to you, Priyanka.
Have you heard of the most difficult maths problem? I mean, in 12th standard or 10th standard, when there was board exam, you thought like this chapter is the most difficult chapter and impossible to give, and you will definitely fail if this question comes to exam. In my life, mindfulness is that problem. So now this thing, mindfulness, is recently got introduced to me, that there's something called, we can also be at peace when our mind is at chaos, which most of the time I am, because I want to do everything. I want to do Toastmaster. I want to work. I want to be good at my work. I want to give speeches. I want to also spend time with friends. I want to also watch series and movies. I want to do everything. So my mind always stayed chaos. However, recently, one of my really good friend told me that want to practice one thing. That is, whenever you wake up, just go outside, sit for 5 minutes under the sun, and just do deep breathing and start your day. Initially, I thought, what is she talking about? Bullshit. What I usually do, I just take out the Instagram or check out my WhatsApp messages. That's what I usually do. But since a few days, I am doing that, and I start my day with really peaceful mind. After that, whatever comes up, I automatically my mind starts prioritizing. And this I'm telling you with experience. Just 5 minutes at the starting of the day, and rest of the day is sorted. For example, today I thought I won't attend the Toastmaster meeting. I have lots of work, but I won't be able to manage. But the way I started my day, I got to know how to incorporate my day. I scheduled each and everything, and now you can see where I am. Those 5 minutes were so effective. So this is what I do to work on my mindfulness. Over to you, Toastmaster, tabletop master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka, for sharing such a insightful tip. I think I would try to incorporate that into my routine as well. But now let's move to another topic. So can I have Vipul on the stage for the another topic? So Vipul, topic for you: does tracking influence our personal growth and mindset? Does tracking influence our personal growth and mindset?
Does tracking influence our personal growth and mindset?
Yes.
Thanks, Ankit, for the topic. So I've been a tracker myself. So in my 4th year of college, I went to a trip just like Utkarsh to Kedarkantha. It was one of the most memorable experiences I have in my life. The track was for 1 week. The first thing, there were no networks at there. So my parents were calling me back there, but I was not able to receive the calls. we thought that what what was it could be there, but we did the track, but going to the mountains, the upper height, we experienced negative temperatures first time in life. So just seeing on the Wikipedia, like there will be a negative temperature, and experiencing yourself is a different experience in itself. So the water became ice in front of my eyes, and we don't have anything to eat. We only have to sustain on dal chawal or a Maggie. And the point you do not eat that, it is gone. It is cold now. It is not edible anymore. Apart from the environmental circumstances, there were things like we had to track almost every time. There were no resources, nothing. You don't have any options in life. So after coming from trek, the gratitude towards the people living in the hilly areas increased a lot. And I started questioning myself, I am craving a lot in my life, that what I have got, that it's not okay, it's not okay. But living there for 7 days taught me that you have to live with what you have and stop cribbing and start working on things, or in a quote I would say, whatever cards you have got in your life, just make the best use of it instead of just cribbing that I have not got the best cards. Thank you.
Thank you, Vipul. Thank you for sharing such experience. Your voice was showing like how good you must have felt after going through that trekking experience. So now I think we can move to another speaker, and I think we can have someone from guest. And can we have Najib on the stage? If it's that fine, Najib.
Thank you, Tabletop Master, for giving me the stewardship to speak in this platform of yours. What's your question, please?
Yes, topic for you, Najib, is outdoors versus indoors. What do you prefer? Topic for you is outdoors versus indoors. What do you prefer?
Can you repeat your question, please, Toastmaster?
Yeah. The question is question is outdoors versus indoors. What is your preference?
All those
versus indoors. What do you prefer? Whether you want to, do you prefer staying indoors or do you prefer staying outdoors?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I do prefer both, indoors as well as outdoors. Being indoors, of course, you don't grow dark. You exercise indoors. And it's a pleasant journey, pleasant experience. At the same time, I would also prefer to be outdoors so that I can be in the sun, enjoy the warmth of the sun, the wind blowing in my ears, watch the trees shaking in the wind. So both these activities are very, very important, essential to me. I prefer both indoors and outdoors. But if I weigh and consider, I would naturally go for the outdoors because outdoors has a more profound effect on our health and well-being because the sun, the God-given sun is there to warm you up, to freshen you up. And that's the reason why I would prefer outdoors rather than the indoors. Over to you, Topics Master.
You're on mute, Ankit.
Thank you, Najib, for sharing your opinion about indoors versus outdoor. I think I share many of the similar opinion that you have. And now we can have another guest, maybe, or a member. How about Madhav Khandelwal? Can we have you on the stage for a table topic? Okay.
We could also check with Rohan and Gunjan. They have
Okay.
their hands
Yeah.
raised.
Yeah. So yeah, let's Rohan. Can we have you on the stage?
Hi, Ankit.
Yeah. So Rohan, topic for you is uh, can you share your most memorable food experience while traveling? Can you share your most memorable food experience while traveling?
Thank you. It's been a year. I was traveling to Jaipur. You all might know that Jaipur is such a beautiful city, known for its sculptures in the terms of mahals and all. But I found with somebody have preferred me to have Mahavir ke rabdi and some sabji over there. So while traveling, I found that gem in Jaipur. Uh, in earlier, I thought what it is actually, it's just like a small shop where I will have to go, whether this food is authentic or not. Then I just tried that, and you will be amazed when my next trip happened with along with my family. How I brought my entire family over there, and everybody of us enjoyed that. Yeah, in Jaipur, I would suggest everyone of you to go Mahavir ki Rabdi Bhandar near to Hawa Mahal, and you will be loved to have that. Just have paneer ki sabji, bajre ki roti, and then rabdi afterwards. Sorry to say, this is all Indian kind of words. It's not like valid in Toastmasters, but I don't know its English name. That's why I just throwed it away to you. Thank you, Table Topic Master Ankit. Over to you.
Thank you, Rohan, for sharing the recommendations of food. Definitely, next time if I got a chance to visit Jaipur, I would definitely try your recommendation. And now, can we have Gunjan Sharma on the stage?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Gunjan. Uh, Topic for you is what is your favorite trekking destination and why it holds a special place in your heart? I'm repeating, what is your favorite trekking destination and why it holds a special place in your heart? Over to you, Gunjan.
Okay, thank you so much, Ankit, for giving me this topic. I have been dying to talk about it. So when you talk about the favorite track, I personally don't like trekking. I love the idea of trekking through the mountains. I am crazy about travel. I keep planning travels, but whenever I go to mountains specifically, and I know that I have to walk or trek for so many kilometers. I just don't find it useful. I mean, yes, definitely you'll get to see many nice, good views, but you can definitely see them while traveling and while sitting in a car. So, and yes, I feel tired. I remember my first track, which was to Vaishno Devi. I went there, and a moment came when I literally gave up and I had to take the khachar to come back down. So yes, I don't like trekking and I don't think it's worth it. Uh, so yeah, thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Gunjan, for sharing your opinion. I think we all have preferences, but definitely good to hear you. And now, can we have another person on the stage? And I would like to invite Mansi, if she can be the other speaker for today's impromptu session.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, Mansi, you are audible. Just checking like whether uh, you have switched on your video or not. Okay, yeah, Mansi, we can hear you. So question for you is, what do you prefer to have in trekking, whether it will be Maggie or it will be a bread butter? What would you prefer in trekking, Maggie or bread butter? Over to you, Mansi.
Okay, thank you, Table Topic Toastmaster, for giving such an interesting topic. I want to tell you that if I choose one among Maggie and bread pakoda, so I go with Maggie because it is easy to prepare. It's not, I think it's not be ready within 2 minutes, but maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and it's easy to have with you anywhere where you want to go. I think uh, uh, is all favorite. No one denied to have Maggie. We have so many options Maggie, like dry Maggie and veggie, and so many. Uh, I so I choose to have Maggie while on trekking, and it is very uh, now. In conclusion, I want to share a quote with all of you that it's about nature. I think nature never goes out of style. It's beautiful as always. So over to you, Dr. Toaster, Ankit.
Thank you, Mansi, for such a attempt. It's a great attempt. And for the last speaker, can we have Pallavi on the stage?
Yes.
Pallavi, will it be possible for you to switch on your video as well?
No, I am not know, so it's quite difficult.
Okay, I think that's fine. But you can still have a speech here. So, Pallavi, topic for you is, what is your favorite outdoor activity that helps you to connect with the nature? So, what is your favorite outdoor activity that allows you to connect with nature?
Definitely, it's the morning walk. The nature itself is very beautiful, and especially the early mornings, 5 a.m. I never ever experienced once, though I am, I'm not able to wake up early, but once I manage and I wake up at 5 o'clock and for a morning walk, and the kind of the experience I have is an amazing, which is not comparable to any of the holidays also which I have done. So connecting to the nature for me is to rise early, before the sunrise, and to witness the everything, the sunrise, the birds singing the songs, the wind blowing. So it's definitely the for me connection to the nature is to wake up early and witness everything with everything. That's it. And over to you.
Thank you, Pallavi. Thank you for sharing your favorite outdoor activity. And with this, this was our last impromptu speech, and and we are ending our impromptu session. And I will hand over the stage back to our Toastmasters a day, Utkarsh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ankit. We have the polls right in front of you for the best table topic speaker. I request everyone to cast their votes. Thank you. Moving on. It's day 3 and the penultimate day of the trek. It was a day which had to be the one with aesthetically most pleasing and diverse visuals. We had steep ascents and descents, and we also witnessed two pristine river streams. Finding a random stream of water in such a sultry weather when sun is right above you was such a bliss. We entered the water barefoot to relax our feet. We then crossed the river stream through the bridge, and then it was an hour-and-a-half long walk through the woods. Everything was going fine, but suddenly we were struck by bad weather. The sky became overcast, and we witnessed not just rain, but hailstorms as well. After traversing through steep descent, several meadows and bridges, all while dealing with rain and hailstorm, we finally reached our final campsite, which is called Baniyakund. Few pictures from day 3. Allow me to share my screen. Sorry. Let me just do the full screen. I hope it's visible now. Can someone give me a nod?
Yes, it's visible, Kosh.
All right. This was the base camp that we stayed at for the entire night. That's the group picture. This is the second last base camp that we had, which was Sialmi. These are all the trails pictures that we clicked. This was the river stream I was talking about. This is me. These are special kinds of mushrooms that grow in the mountains. I don't have much knowledge about it, but it was pretty intriguing to click a picture of the same. This is me playing with a dog at our final campsite. That's all. I'll stop sharing. Enough about the trek. It's time now for a very, very special session, an event. It's a very special session that we are going to have now. It's by the distinguished Toastmaster, Rupinder Singh. To tell a little bit about him, a self-confessed classical introvert, Rupinder never thought he would be a public speaker. Then, in 2015, he joined Toastmasters. Since then, he has delivered over 1,000 speeches, conducted more than 100 public speaking workshops, influenced over 5,000 lives, and hosted over a dozen contests. If I were to describe Rupinder Singh in a sentence, I would say he's an excellent communicator and a leader, and has a passionate desire to foster a culture of excellence in others. Today, he's going to take up the education session for the executive committee roles for Turning Point Toastmasters. Can we have him on spotlight, please? Quick audio video check with Toastmaster Rupinder.
Am I audible and am I visible?
You're perfectly audible and visible. Over to you, Toastmaster Rupinder.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Oh, good evening, everyone. Time zones. Once again, as you might have guessed, my name is Rupinder, and I'm here to talk about the club officer roles and why they are important. In short, I'm trying to sell them to you through some of my experiences. You might have read that there are 7 club officer positions in a club in Toastmasters. I'm going to start at the very top and work all the way to my favorite position, which is the Sergeant at Arms, towards the end. I've served in each of these positions. Some of them have been immensely enjoyable. In others, I've learned a lot while enjoyed some time. But in all, these are positions where you get to learn. Now you'll ask, what do you get to learn? And my answer is, you will learn the most difficult type of leadership. It's called leadership by influence. It is 7:24 a.m. here in Surrey, British Columbia. I'm here because Madhav asked me to come here. Now, if Madhav was in a reporting relationship with me, wherein he was my boss, and if he asked me to come at 6 o'clock, I would have turned up at 6 o'clock. Or I would have turned up at 7:30 if he wanted me to. Why? Because my appraisal, my next bonus, my promotion, everything depends on Madhav being happy with me. But we are not in a reporting relationship. Madhav is a voluntary leader. So why did I turn up? It's because of the influence that he has on me. And if you're truly a leader by influence, you will not have to ask people if they will turn up on a Sunday or on a weekend, or if they'll stay late. They'll themselves come to you and say that I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the job done. That is the kind of leadership you learn at Toastmasters. And it's the best kind of leadership. Well, enough about that. Let's see what roles does a typical Toastmasters club have to offer. I'm going to describe each role, and then I'm going to tell you what it takes to succeed in that role and what is the measure of success in that role. So starting with the president. You think of president like a CEO of the club, of an organization. So those of you aspiring to be CXOs, which is CFO and CTO, CLO, this apparently something called a chief learning officer. And there was one organization where I heard CHO, chief happiness officer. But if you're aiming to be one of those, you want to become a club president. What does it take to succeed as a club president? You need to learn how to delegate. See, successful leaders, they delegate more than 75% of their work. You have to look at yourself as to how much work are you doing and how much work are you delegating. If it is less than 75%, you've got some way. As a president, you will be tempted to do a lot of things. You'll be tempted to take on roles. You'll be tempted to take on, you'll be tempted to follow up on PR. You'll be tempted to follow up on guests. Why? Because you want the club to grow. The trick is to let your fellow club officers do the task and assist them wherever necessary. If you can achieve that, you are a president. So the measure of success of being a president is not doing anything in a club. If you don't have anything to do in a club, your team is managing everything by itself. It's like that the club does not need a president. Then believe me, you are succeeding as a president. You want to get there. If you translate this to a CEO, all the CEO has to do is a morning call, an afternoon meeting, and an evening meeting. If those 3 meetings go smoothly, the CEO is doing their job. Next, let's move on to what I consider, at least personally, a very difficult role, and that is the Vice President of Education. And it should be easy for me, considering that I come from a learning and development background, but I find it one of the toughest roles. The Vice President Education is responsible for the quality of the club. And quality means training. And training means people giving the speeches, people taking up roles. The Vice President Education takes care of all that. Prepares a weekly agenda, ensures that there is a role player for every role, and tries to backfill any roles that have backed out. But more importantly, a Vice President of Education strives to make sure that there are no backouts. Once again, leadership by influence coming into play. The more you are able to influence by setting a personal example, the more people will turn up for their roles. Typically, when I was Vice President Education, my next meeting would have started yesterday. So if my next meeting was next Thursday, I would have started preparing for the role today, or at least started filling roles at least today or at least a week back. And that is the secret of succeeding as a Vice President Education. You learn to plan ahead. You learn to plan 3 or 4 weeks ahead. You've got your agenda sorted out for 3 or 4 weeks ahead. And then you're dealing with the exceptions, the backouts. Over time, you learn how to have backups for each and every role. So what does it succeed? What does it take to succeed as a vice president education? How many backups do you have? How many people are willing to turn up for a role at a mere phone call from you? They can be from outside the club. They can be from outside the district. That's your measure as a VP education. How many meetings did not have a backout? How many meetings were quality meetings? The third role is the vice president membership. If you want to go into sales and marketing, then this is the role for you. More like HR actually. If you want to be the head of HR at a company, this is the role for you. A vice president membership has basically 2 roles. One is getting new members, onboarding new members, and 2 is retaining existing members. Should be simple, right? Ask any vice president membership in this room, and you will get a stare, which if looks could kill, would stop you dead in your tracks. The challenge with vice president membership is that people will come to you with the challenges that they are facing, especially with other members, and you have to resolve them as vice president membership. The opportunity there is that you learn how to deal with people. You learn people leadership. It's the best place to learn people leadership. How club dynamics work, which can be extended as how organization dynamic works. So you learn organization development. What does it take to succeed as a vice president membership? What is the measure of success? I would say it's pretty clear how many new members you onboarded and how many existing members are still with you. Think back, how many people are there for more than 5 years or 3 years or 2 years? And are you able to retain them going forward? That is the measure of your success. Then comes the role which is VP PR, Vice President Public Relations. Again, marketing manager kind of role. If you've never done marketing management, this is the role for you. Why? Because you are going to promote your club within and outside the club environment. I can tell you stories about Vice President Public Relations. Almost got arrested once. Fell off my motorcycle while coming to a club meeting. Came to the club meeting dripping in blood. Yeah, I literally gave my blood for this club. But it has been one of the most satisfying roles. You see, in 2017, this club was on the verge of closing down. We were down to 3 members, the bare minimum needed for a club to survive. And this was January of 2017. By March, we were 9. And by June, we were 21. And it was a team effort because we literally turned this club around. It's been one of the biggest achievements in my Toastmasters career. That is what a VPPR is supposed to do. Your measure of success is get 15, at least 5 guests in every meeting. If you really want to outperform, make sure you get 15 guests. You do PR to such an extent that 15 people turn up for your meeting. That is your measure of success. What does it take to succeed in this role? You need to be a networker. You need to go reach out to people. And I'm not saying that only extroverts can be VPPRs. You're listening to an introvert right now. I'm a 98% introvert. I can tell you, if I succeeded in this role, anybody else can succeed in this role. All it takes is a willingness to pick up the phone, make a phone call, ask a person if they are coming to a meeting or not. And if they say no, ask them why they are not coming. And then call them again until they turn up at a meeting. Then it is no longer your job. Now it is the job of the VP membership and the PR and the education to deliver an experience that you promised. Okay. The next three roles that I'm going to describe, they are the next four roles, they are administrative roles, but they are very important. Starting with the club secretary. The club secretary is responsible for taking notes of every meeting and sharing them with the club. That's the first and foremost thing. But the club secretary is also an important position because the club secretary, along with the president, is one of the required positions in a club. A club cannot function without a president or a secretary. The club secretary is also a base camp manager, in that they can approve or deny completion requests for each level that you complete. If you want to be an administrative manager, club secretary is the role for you. Other than that, a club secretary is also responsible to vote at the international elections. You will be deciding the next group of leaders of Toastmasters International. What does it take to succeed at a club secretary role? In one word, diligence. You have to be diligent enough to document everything that happened in a meeting. What do you learn? You learn writing skills. You learn administration skills. You learn communication skills. Measure of success. I should be able to go to an online resource, look at a meeting and tell what happened in what meeting on what date, who played as the speaker, who was the evaluator. The next role is the club treasurer. As you can guess, it is the finance manager. If you want to be a finance manager, club treasurer is the role for you. Now, this is one role that I found difficult along with vice president education. And the reason is that I'm not good with money. I tend to spend money. But on the other hand, this role also taught me the value of financial discipline. I actually learned to save. And I opened the first ever fixed deposit in my life. Yeah, sure, it happened when I was 47 years old. But one learns and one grows. Do we all agree? What does it take to succeed as a club treasurer? First and foremost, be prepared to deal in foreign exchange. You need to have a card, or you need to have access to somebody who has a card that works internationally. That is the first requirement. And given the way we are treating foreign exchange here in India, it is becoming an increasingly difficult task. So now you need to be innovative. How do you make payments to Toastmasters International? The other thing that it takes to succeed in this role is financial discipline. You will have access to club funds. You will also have access to your funds, and many times these two funds will be in the same bank account. How do you manage that? For the last 6 years, we've been trying to get a bank account for Turning Point Toastmasters. It is the job of the treasurer. And for the last 6 years, I have failed miserably. I say I have failed because it was my idea to have a bank account for Turning Point Toastmasters. And every year we make a solemn resolve that, yes, this is the year we're going to have a bank account. We turn up not having a bank account. See, if the club has a bank account, you don't get tax notices. I did get a couple of tax notices. All I did was call up the income tax office and I told them that this was for a voluntary organization and they wrote it off. But if you want to become a treasurer, then make this your mission. This club needs to have a bank account by the end of your term. It's not very difficult. It's been documented. Everything is in place. All you have to do is sign a few papers, go to Federal Bank and deposit them there, and your bank account will be opened. The next role is my favorite role. We call it the Sergeant at Arms. The Sergeant at Arms is the logistics manager. It's a role that I have immensely enjoyed. As Sergeant at Arms, you are responsible for opening the meeting. You're responsible for setting the energy of the meeting. So when you open the meeting, and if you are, the meeting will be free. But if you open the meeting and you are all excited, all guns blazing, enthusiastic, you'll take the energy of the meeting to another level. If you can do that for 20 consecutive meetings, you will learn how to open events. Remember, there's a group of people and you are sitting there, nobody's doing anything, and you are waiting for somebody to do something so that the fun starts. Ever been in that situation? Well, if you become a Sergeant at Arms, you will be that someone who will initiate something and the fun will start. I've thoroughly enjoyed this role. How to introduce my presiding officer. And sometimes my president was not my presiding officer, so I had to introduce the VP Education. And sometimes my president would decide that they are not coming to the meeting. Now I have to introduce my vice president membership as the presiding officer on the fly. All my introduction that I prepared has gone to waste. Now I have to do it on the fly. I learned a lot in this role. It has a special place in my heart. In fact, people say that when Rupinder is not winning championships, he's busy training people for Sergeant at Arms. I don't know how true that is. I said 4 roles, I've given you 3. One of the most important roles that Madhav will have is the immediate past president. The immediate past president is the link between tomorrow and yesterday. And although it is not a position recognized by Toastmasters International, the immediate past president is responsible for everything guiding the club along. He's there or they are there in an advisory capacity. So long story short, you want to be a CEO, become a club president. You want to be a training manager, become a VP Education. You want to become an HR manager, become VP Membership. You want to become a marketing manager, become VP PR. You want to become an administrative manager, club secretary is the role for you. Finance manager, treasurer. Logistics manager, Sergeant at Arms. If you want to leave a legacy, you become an immediate past president. But to become an immediate past president, you have to become a current president. All the best, everyone, whoever is looking up to perform a role. If you still have questions, I am on the group. Feel free to reach out to me and I will be more than happy to answer those. Thank you very much for being such a patient audience. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder, for explaining everything with such clarity and frankness. For now, we'll have a group selfie, guys. I request everyone to switch on their cameras and put some interesting emoticons. Madhav, are you the one who will take the picture?
I'll be capturing one and I would ask someone else also to take one so that we have a backup as well.
Sure, sure. Guys, please switch on your cameras. All right. Madhav,
Yeah,
give me
I've
a note when
taken.
you're done. All right, all right. Moving on. Finally, it's the summit day, and we all were super pumped for that day. We had to wake up at 1:30 a.m. and start our trek at sharp 3 a.m. on that day, so that we have enough time during the day to reach the peak and come back in broad daylight, which is why we woke up at 1:30 and started our trek at sharp 3 a.m. Needless to say, it isn't any normal day for our body. This will test our physical ability, temperament, and willpower. 1 hour into the trek, we started witnessing snow. I got really excited as this was the first time that I got to feel and touch snow. After trekking in snow for 4 odd hours, we reached the Tungnath temple, which is the highest Shiva temple in the world and one of the 5 Panch Kedarnath temples. Kedar temples, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, the temple was closed during this time of the year and we paid our respects from the outside. Post Tungnath, it was the climax, the race to the championship, and the highlight of my trek. It took us around 1.5 to 2 hours to reach the summit, and it was the most beautiful and intense part of my journey. We usually used to take breaks every 20 minutes, but this time, I and every trackmate of mine was so charged up that no one took any break, and we all reached the summit in one go. Well, I'll not let you keep waiting and quickly show you the glimpses of the summit. Allow me to share the screen for one last time. Madhav, give me a nod if everything's perfect.
Yeah, it's visible.
So this is the time, like it's complete pitch dark, and we started our trek at sharp 3 a.m. with our torches on. This is me, like the sun is about to come. We all are trekking. It's snow now. This is me at one of the peaks. I don't remember which peak it was. This is the Tungnath temple. It was closed, unfortunately. This is all us reaching to the peak, the summit. This is our trek leader. Under her stewardship, we finished our complete trek. And this is me at the summit with the signature photograph of the Theodorital Chandrashila trek. And this was my entire trek group, finishing up with the summit. Can we have a huge round of applause? All right, enough of reminiscing. It's time for the overall evaluation and comprehensive feedback of the day. Can we have our general evaluator, Toastmaster Priyanka, on spotlight, please now?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ade. Now, and let's see what my stewardship is about to do. All right. So I'd like to call the Toastmaster Madhav for evaluation of Toastmaster Neeraj's speech.
Toastmaster Neeraj, you are a wonderful speaker. And I am using that tone to demonstrate how Toastmaster Neeraj uses voice modulation while giving a speech. It requires much of a patience to speak calmly, to speak slowly, to keep the voice modulation mode on throughout the speech, to keep coming closer to screen while speaking. I remember when you said I wish, and you came closer to the speech, to the screen. And those are the things that a speaker learns, a speaker takes 4 to 5 speeches at least to learn. but I would like to congratulate you, and I would like to tell you that you have that in you, that you could experiment with all those tools that we use to make our speeches effective. You ended the speech with a quote, and I could, while coming to the meeting, I went through the feedback of your last speech to analyze how you have implemented the feedback. But I must say that I certainly agree with the commendations that you received in your last speech, and you have added on to those commendations to make your content more make your content have more gravity, to make your content more fulfilling. And I could I could I could see that you were using pauses very precisely while speaking. So all these things I could see, and I know that if you improve on few things, I'm sure that you are going to become a very great public speaker. But what are those things? One of the feedback you received the last time, to improve upon your to improve upon your pronunciation. I would like to modify that feedback a bit. I think there are instances where while you speak, the Hindi language influence comes up, and that makes your pronunciation looks not fluent. But that fluency would come gradually, I believe. That's not something that you can do, but I am sure that I could notice few words that Anand suggested last evaluate suggested to you, and you pronounced them correctly. So I am sure you applied the feedback correctly. The second feedback that I would like to give to you, apart from working on your feedback, consciously work upon grammatical mistakes as well that you tend to make while speaking. For example, artists create. So this is something that I'm venturing. I'm going into jurisdiction of grammarian, but artists create. It creates. It should have been. So these type of grammatical mistakes are not expected when you are giving a speech, because it is a prepared speech. So while you are coming in a prepared speech, you can just. So one of the tools that I have been using lately is ChatGPT. So I just put an instruction, please point out any grammatical mistakes, and it gives me all of them. So you could use those tools to filter out all the grammatical mistakes. And the last feedback that I would like to give to you is, I just loved your speech, and you had a very good content. You could have taken more time, because you just crossed the green mark. So you could have taken more time and make your speech have more content about yourself. So those would be the three feedbacks I would give to you. But I am very sure that you are on a long journey, and you are making great steps in that journey. So I would like to congratulate you and give you all the best for your future speeches. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you very much for such a evaluation, such an encouraging evaluation. I always look forward to you, Madhav. Thank you. Going further, coming to our table topic speeches. Let's evaluate the table topic speeches. I'd like to apologize, Toastmaster Vipul, because of technical glitches. I couldn't hear a speech properly, so I couldn't evaluate yours. Coming to our guest Najib, he has left the meeting. However, he could follow up the feedback from the YouTube live. So, for guest and the audience, we have this meeting on YouTube live. You can refer to it whenever you want to. All right. So, coming to Nazim, outdoors versus indoors. Amazing. It was an amazing take on both the side. I like outdoors and indoors. It was really great the way he started the speech. I loved that part. He did not. However, later along the speech, he took a side. I would like to prefer in outdoors. Why? He gave the reason about the sun and everything. I really like the speech, Nazir. However, you could add what all things you can do outdoors that will make your speech complete. We would like to hear about it. How about you add that now next time? So coming to our next speech, Rohan. Hi, Rohan. Uh, Most memorable food while traveling. You talked about your the food. Wow, mouth watering. I was just thinking about all the sorry, that rubbery, all the items you had talked about. Wow, I was there with you in Jaipur. So how would you make your speech better? Because you already gave the nice things in front of us. Well, our mouth was watering, but we want more. We want you associate yourself with that food. Why this? If I say the jalebi was really tasty and that chalk, why? Because you can associate your story. How did you feel? Or sometimes I can add my associate childhood with jalebi. For the first time I had jalebi there and I reminisced the same thing there. Like that, you can associate as many stories as you can. That is your creativity, Rohan. Coming to Gunjan, what is your favorite trekking destination? Wow, I don't like trekking. Gunjan, you're so funny. I love your speech. So throughout the speech, I think me and Madhav, I could say Madhav couldn't stop laughing, and everybody in the room, they were like cherishing. So it was really good. It's really good. So Gunjan, your speech is almost great. You just need to add more. So we want to laugh more. Talk about why you hate trekking. So talk more as much you want to. So and conclude as the speech could. Coming to Mansi. Mansi, whether you prefer Maggie or bread butter, I also love Maggie, Mansi, I would like to say. So the way you started speech, it was really great. You talked about Maggie and everything. How would you make the speech better? So you at the last you started to associate your speech with the nature. You started talking about nature. However, you little fumbled and you stopped it. Uh, but how would you make it complete speech? Try to add more story. How could associate the nature with the Maggie? All those things you can associate. Or while you're tracking and you will have a nice smell of Maggie and you enjoy the Maggie on the side of the river, like that you can just make a story and how Maggie can be so good while trekking or while you're outside on outdoors. Coming to Pallavi, your favorite outdoor activity. Your favorite allows you to connect with the nature. So your favorite outdoor activity, like you talked about, going outside under the sun. Really beautiful. I also do that sometimes. We want to hear more about how do you feel during the walk. What comes to your mind? You want to hear those thoughts. So in those 2 minutes, you can share how was your experience. You try to talk about it. However, we want to hear more about it. So Pallavi, you can do that in your next speech. So with that, I would like to conclude the table topic speech evaluations. Timer, please turn down the red card. Thank you. All right. Coming to our tag team, I would like to call Toastmaster Vipul with his grammarian report on the stage.
Thanks, Priyanka. So I'm just presenting my screen. Is my screen visible? Yeah. So I will start with Utkarsh. Utkarsh, being a natural grammarian, used a lot of vocabulary words. Like, you can copy these words. I will paste in the chat box, and next time you are going for a natural thing, you can replicate this as it is. A lot of vocabulary words: rugged, majestic, profound, serene, enchanting, expedition, meadows, gloomy. One thing which helped me is during the time I'm writing these words, I also Google it. So it helps me a lot. And maybe I will use this in my next speech. Coming to Neeraj. Neeraj also used some of the good words: pigment, cascade, elevate, plethora, conform. Some few minor things I would ask her to avoid. Use of word myself. She was again and again using myself. It could be me. And second is we are by default using things like quantitative, very important. Important could be used there. You don't want to focus on very important. Very important is used only when you're comparing things. Else you could use the word important. Coming to Madhav, sorry, in the table topic section, like I lost my internet in between and I was not in the meeting, so I could not concentrate on the speakers. Madhav, there were some good words, modulation, gravity, and jurisdiction. One thing, you repeatedly use the word could instead of can. So maybe back to the tenses, you could. And articles like a patience. Patience could be used. You don't need to word the use in front of it. So for my recommendation for Neeraj would be like I also had the similar problem. So what worked for me is I watched English movies and web series and with subtitles. So initially with subtitles, it helped me to look at the vocabulary, grammar, everything. And with time, I also look at the pronunciation. So it helped me with everything. But it took time for me, at least 3 to 4 years. So I have a suggestion, like initially focus just on subtitles. Gradually you move to pronunciation. And for Madhav, you need to go back to the textbooks, what I'm also doing myself. Maybe a Brennan Martin will help in that case. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster people, for such a nice report. I'd like to call the R counter of the day, Toastmaster Piyush, a news member on the stage.
Hello, thank you, General Evaluator Priyanka. Hello, everyone. And dear guests, hello, good evening, Toastmaster and dear guests. Today, the role player has done the great job. Everyone was flawless. Even the Toastmaster in making did the great job. I'm sharing my screen. Let me know when you are able to see it. Are you able to see it?
Yes.
Starting with the presiding officer, Madhav has used 4 filler words. Toastmaster of the day, Utkarsh, has done the spectacular job. He has used 4 filler words. Now moving to the speaker of the day, Neeraj. She has used 4 filler words, including 1 short pause. Coming to the table topics, General Evaluator Priyankar has used 3 filler words. Vipul has used 4. Nazib has used 3 filler words. Rohan has used 3. Kunjan has used 4 filler words. Mansi has used 5 plus filler words. And Palvi has used 5 filler words. Coming to the table topic master Ankit, he has used 5 plus filler words. And distinguished Toastmaster Rupender has used 5 plus filler words. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Piyush, for such a wonderful report. I'm really glad, that you're doing as a news member, you're doing really great. I'll come with my feedback, don't worry. Yes. Coming to the timer of the day, Toastmaster Madhav. Toastmaster Madhav, please, could we have the timer report?
Yeah, am I audible when visible? Yeah. So before sharing my screen, I just want to clarify that please don't hold any grudge against me. It's just my job to share screen because every time I show any card, being yellow or red, the person who is speaking or the person who is listening just looks at me like, what I've done, man. It just disturbs the view. I understand that, but it's just the way the system works. So yeah, I don't know if there was any better system, I would adopt it. Yeah, that's all. And thank you, you all. You all have been wonderful speakers. I just also want to add that. So please, I'm not an evil person. I'm just doing my job. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. So are you able to see the screen? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. So Neeraj has spoke for 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Priyanka has spoken for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Vipul has spoke for 1 minute 51 seconds. Najib for 1 minute and 23 seconds. Rohan for 1 minute and 38 seconds. Gunjan for 1 minute and 6 seconds, and Mansi for 1 minute and 28 seconds, and Pallavi for 1 minute and 3 seconds. So that is all the report for the timing. All have spoken in the limit of what their time has been provided to them. So yeah, that's nice.
Thank you, Mr. Madhav.
Welcome.
Thank you. For us, a detailed report. So coming to my time. So now let's talk about my stewardship. So now I'll start with Toastmaster Madhav. Hi, Toastmaster Madhav. And meanwhile, you give votes to all the role players. Let me give my first vote. Done. All right. Toastmaster Madhav, I really love the way you started your speech, the evaluation. You spoke one line and that was actually a recommendation. Wow, that is wonderful. That is really creative. I would definitely like to incorporate in one of my evaluation. Thank you. So you talked about all the commendation. It was really great. One suggestion I have. How about we share the feedbacks which she had got in the last speech. We want to listen what were those feedbacks, because we were totally blind at what feedback is she working on in this current speech. How about you share that with the audience for the interest of everyone? And one challenge I would like to give for your next evaluation. You focus more, generally you focus more on the body language, your voice modulation, everything. How about you next time focus on the structure of the speech or the content, how the person is working on the conclusion, how the transitions are, all those things. So try to challenge yourself to give evaluation, at least one recommendation on the content part. So coming to my tag team, my sweet tag team. Okay, so I'll start with Vipul. Vipul, amazing report. I love the report. One suggestion, how about you share the also you share a suggestion also. It was really good. It was really creative. Yeah, we all watch series and we can easily incorporate. That is one of the good evaluative feedback or recommendation one evaluator could have. Amazing, good job, Vipul. So I do not have any suggestion or recommendation for you. It was really amazing, Vipul. Keep it up. Just okay. Coming to our count of the day. Our count of the day. You had shown all the filler words, who used what. It's really great, Toastmaster Piyush. I love I think you're taking this role for the first time, right? Are you? So as a first timer, amazing job, Piyush. I think for the first time when I had taken the job, at least 50% this much I did not do. So you were really great today. One suggestion I would like to give to you, because all you are already sharing the screen. You need not to point each and every person. This person used what, this person used that. Rather, how about you just highlight that Rohan, you need to work on or arms. You just highlight first people who are really bad at arms. They say somebody is exceeding 5 times or 10 times. You can take the names Utkarsh, Rohan, Vipul, and Madhav. You need to work on your R's. And somebody, you need to work your arms, or somebody is using some filler word completely so many times. I'm using like multiple times. Priyanka, you need to work on your like. This is your filler word. Like that is highlight, because I can see the report. I need not to be told repetitively, right? And yeah, so this is your next challenge, Piyush. Coming to the timer of the day. Timer of the day. What a funny take, the way you started your speech. Don't hate me. This is my job. It was cool. So cool, Madhav. Just one suggestion I have. So try to practice sharing the screen as many times as possible before the meeting. So because sometimes you are seeing some other screen along rather than the cards. So that you need to be careful about. You should know what you're sharing. When you are sharing, which screen you're sharing, you should be very particular about, because we don't want to see anything else on any bank statement if it is open. I don't want to see that. So
I'll show
However,
you that. That's for sure.
all right. And during the open the speech, so you had shown the green card, I think. However, the green card which was little confusing. You try to make it creative with something else was also there with green card and something else was also there with the green card, I think. So just let it be simple, sober, no creativity in timer cards because we also have guests in the room. Everywhere have guests. So let's not confuse people. All right. So with that, I'd like to conclude my team's evaluation. And now it is time for me to evaluate the whole meeting. What all these naughty kids, bad, all the kids were doing in the room. Now I'm like completely monitoring very keenly. First of all, I'm so happy the audience were so good. They were really attentive. They were not making noises like, in class we do make noises and all, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And so it was really great. The way SAR started the meeting, it was good. There's no suggestion for the SAR. Coming to Toastmaster Madhav, you acknowledge the guest. I really appreciated that. How about you ask the people who like Nazib? We don't know about Nazib. How about you ask little introduction initially, so that people in the room will get to know more about him, and even guests also feel acknowledged. Coming to Toastmaster today, wow! I was already at Chandrasila with you. Amazing! You had so many pictures, and I'm just waiting for this India hikes. I've noted down whoever has organized your trip, so I'm definitely going there. Wow! So you are so creative, Toastmasters Day. You should try such Toastmaster Day sessions as many as possible. You can try in some other some other meetings or some other clubs also. The same thing. The script is really good, really good. The audience was so intact with the images what you were putting on. I had less time, but I want to say you have done amazing job, Utkarsh. I had no recommendation for you, but I have only learning I have got from you today. Amazing job, Utkarsh. Proud of you. In the high, okay. Definitely. All right. Yeah. Coming to Toastmaster, coming to overall feedback, I have in anonymous feedback for people. That is, when you are speaking, I know this is Zoom. This is a Zoom meeting. You can speak by reading the notes. That is very easy, right? However, we know we are the backbenchers. We have been to school. We have been to college. We know how to cheat. So we know who is reading, who is reading from the document. So it's very sometimes becomes very visible that people is reading from the document. How about you become really a bit clever rather than okay, red card. I am writing it fast, but they're so important points I have to share with them. So
that's why I didn't interrupt.
Yeah. So if you want to use notes, great. Try to use pointers. Do not write paragraphs. Do not read paragraphs. It's very easy to catch. Keep pointers. Use pointer and speak about it. Try to practice as much you can. Next, people who are using mobile, don't keep mobile like this and speak. Keep mobile like this and speak if you're using mobile, because when you keep like this, your photo will come like vertical. You can keep like this, it will become landscape and we can see the more screen. Third and last, I'm wrapping up fast. When people like Vipul, Piyush, Rohan, these three people, see yourself. We can only see your face. We want to see more. At least not in a very positive way. So I mean to say, try to sit at least half our body is visible, because otherwise we can't see your body language. When you're speaking, only we can see your face. All right. It was an amazing meeting, and thank you very much for being giving me this opportunity as an evaluation. And thank you, my team. Thank you, everyone. And I'd like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Madhav, the president of the day. Yeah.
To Utkarsh to conclude the.
Yeah. So sorry. I'm handing over the stage to Toastmaster of the day, Utkarsh.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Priyanka, for such a detailed evaluation. Thank you so much. I'll conclude by saying that embarking on a Himalayan trek for me is not just a physical adventure, but it was also a transformative journey. I learned the power of resilience and perseverance. There were so many times that I wanted to give up, but I just kept pushing and moving forward. This got to show that how much untapped potential each one of us has. It also inculcated in me the appreciation for nature and simplicity. It taught me the importance of teamwork and camaraderie. I can vouch that none of us on the trek would have made through without each other's support. Above all, it instilled in me a sense of immense gratitude. Standing amidst the towering mountains, one realizes the insignificance of individual worries and gains a broader understanding of the world. Hope you enjoyed my trekking journey as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you guys. With this note, I'll take your leave and hand it over to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Madhav. Over to you, Toastmaster Madhav.
Thank you to. I'm sorry. Thank you, Toastmaster Utkarsh. Okay, so now.
It's okay. I think Toastmaster Madhav is taking his moment.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay,
It's
so
okay.
now why everyone is like laughing? It's making me laugh. Yeah, so let's go to our. So I'm launching the polls for best role players. Do cast your votes while I go to guests. I would like to go to. So we have only one guest. I'm sorry, two. So I would like to check with Mansi for her feedback, and then with Gunjan.
Hello. Such a spectacular meeting as always. I really enjoy, and people like you are very cooperative. So it's very comfortable for me to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mansi, for that feedback. Let's go to Toastmaster Gunjan for a feedback.
Thank you. It was a nice meeting. Thanks for letting me join. And of course, I noticed one thing. When Nimit used to join this meeting, you never used to consider SPTM as guest, but now you have started calling a SPTM member as guest. So, but anyways, I look forward to join more of your meetings, and I am thinking to take up a role in the next meeting.
Thank you, Gunjan. I think it also depends on how many guests we have. If we have lesser guests, then we would obviously call SPTM members as guests. But thank you for the feedback. I would announce the result of polls, starting with best auxiliary role player, and best auxiliary role player is Toastmaster Vipul. Congratulations, Vipul. Then coming to best table topic speaker, and today we have had quite a few ties in results. So this is the first tie in best table topic speaker. It is a tie between Toastmaster Vipul and Toastmaster Gunjan. Congratulations to both. I think Vipul has a, it's going a great meeting for Vipul in terms of winning the polls. Then coming to best role players, it is again a tie between Toastmaster Utkarsh and Toastmaster Priyanka, 5 votes each. Congratulations to both. I think I stole the concentration of audience while they voted. So they must have one of you must be winners. But yeah, I think, but okay. I would stop laughing and cracking jokes. And I would like to comment on Utkarsh, uh, the way Utkarsh determined the flow of the meeting, because it was very easy for, so if any of you have not been a table topic Toastmaster of the day already, it's a very easy way to go about it. Select three things, talk about 3 days, and after talking about each day, just show the pictures, and you can conclude in a very, summarizing everything. So these are few of the hacks that you can apply and give Toastmaster of the day with very less efforts, as it may be as it may look like to you that it takes a lot of effort to draft script and all for Toastmaster day. So that's one learning I learned from Utkarsh, and thank you, Utkarsh, for playing the role, and thank you everyone for being here and playing all the roles.